Alright guys, welcome to CJ Market Watch. What a day it has been, right, since Monday, and today we are on Wednesday. The market has moved up significantly, over the past 3 days. And the greatest question is this on CJ Market Watch, even on today, is can we long yet? Can we call it the long? Can we finally conclude that the bears are gone and we are ready for the bull run once again? And let's talk about it from a different point of view, okay? So let's talk about it from both a fundamental institution point of view, and let's also talk about it from a technical point of view, all right? And the greatest question here is also whether the bull run is sustainable or not, right? And I think that is one of the greatest questions that everyone's been asking. I mean, with Ryan, myself, and some of our facilitators, our team has been talking to the Legacy and Elite members, right? I think some of you are already here and you know it. And we've been talking about how positive we are, and basically what's happening in the market right now, and everyone is just too used to being pessimistic, and we have forgot that the longs can be here, the bulls can be here, and it can take us out anytime when we keep shorting it. And what's a better sentiment as of now? Where do you want to be on, right? Which side of the camp do you want to be on? Are you still going to be longing? Are you going to be shorting? Are you going to be on the buying side? Are you going to be the selling side? So that is the key question here. What should we exactly be doing right now, right? Can I long yet? Can you long yet? Can we long together? And that's the greatest question that we need to answer today. Cool? Alright, so let's go. We're gonna talk about the general, not general markets, right? We're gonna talk about the general coin market cap first, and then we're gonna go into some small news. There really isn't much news, and that was why I told the team, hey guys, let's do one live session like this, where we talk about charts, where we talk about what's happening in the market rather than news. I think most of our people here, as of now today, won't be so paying so much attention to the news, partly because there isn't much news, and it's just really some price movement that I wish that I can have this platform to talk about it once again, and therefore I'm doing this live so that we could engage with you guys. Okay, so feel free to ask any questions that you want to have, and we'll answer that. We'll get to that later on. All right, so let's go. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen right now. We're talking about coin market cap here once again. So BTC has went up by a significant level. Now we're at 3759. And a few days ago, about 3 days ago, when we're looking at it, it's about 3,200 to 3,003. It wasn't very satisfactory. It's kind of bad. But when we're looking at it now, we have up about close to $400 to $500 US dollars upside, right? This is all too familiar when we experienced that last year at this particular moment as well. So it brings back to the point of why is the price pumping in the first place, right? Like, is it because we hit a new all-time low, right? A new all-time 2018 low, and therefore we needed that push to kind of give hope to people that, hey, BTC is still alive, I'm still kicking, right? And with that, we see Ripple going up. We see Ethereum also heading up, right? And EOS as well. And also Bitcoin Cash, fought back the position from Litecoin, and therefore is now in the 6th position. And we see Tether falling as well, which is a good sign because everyone is shifting back towards BTC. And then SV is kind of just like standing still, surviving. We have Tron out of nowhere, and the rest of the different, once again, the different altcoins. All right, so there's very little. There's very little things I can really talk about altcoins as of now. USDC, true US dollars are all negatives because they're all stable tokens. It's not very popular when you have such a huge movement. Everyone would just dump stable coins just to get back into the market, and this is very apparent right now. All right, so when we are looking at it, even Paxos is down as well. So this is what the market is as of now. All right. We are in fact trying to recover, but the question is, will this be sustainable, right? Where are we heading next? So when we talk about crypto prices rally, Bitcoin approaches the $4,000 mark. Now we have already kind of talked about it in I think it's in a legacy thread that this is what's happening, right? When the price starts to pump, CNBC, mainstreaminvesting.com, blah blah blah, they start talking about news, where BTC recovered $500, it's a huge percentage gain. And at the same time, we are closing the $4,000. Can we breach that $4,000 level? If we breach, there'll be even more news coverage on it. And this is what's happening. Okay, it's a usual thing where you have a lot of people trying to FOMO in right now. So I'm not too sure about your friends, but if your friends are starting to text you right now and say, hey, how do I get into the cryptocurrency market? Oh, it's recovering, isn't it? How can I get in? So you kind of know that the FOMOs are almost here, right? You know that, hey, they are looking out for $2,800, they're looking for $1,000, but BTC is not going there. So they're questioning themselves, oh no, can I buy it now? So you see that happening already. People are questioning, people are asking that question. They know that BTC may not be able to go down anymore. They're going to leave them in the lurch, and they are all coming in. The FOMOs are coming. So anyway, we have this kind of news coming out here and there. We see different tokens pumping as well. And also, so we're talking about adoption here as well. So remember when I spoke about it on Monday or a few CG Market Watch before, where I spoke about how Bitcoin. Okay, sorry, this is actually part of the webinar for our members. So I actually spoke about how Bitcoin is a demand push commodity or currency or cryptocurrency or digital asset, whatever you name it. It's a demand push asset class, meaning to say because the supply is fixed. And therefore, the demand for Bitcoin, it's very heavily dependent on demand. So let's just talk about this item here, right? This is actually a Mevo live camera, all right, where it captures video live, all right? It's a very, very cool thing here that I have. Now, this supply, I don't know, you can always produce more of this, okay? I can always produce more of a pen. But this is supply, it can be supply influence. You can influence the supply of this particular pen or this Mevo camera, right? But Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million. There's a few 4 mil or so being lost in circulation, and therefore the prices of Bitcoin is heavily dependent on demand. And that's the reason why a small pump in terms of Bitcoin's price can trigger so much action from the market, partly because of it being a demand push commodity or asset class. Because plebs, or in general retail traders, see that Bitcoin, okay, so let's just say this is a Bitcoin example, all right? So they realize that Bitcoin starts to rise up very quickly, and therefore, because it's demand push, people are scared that they'll be left out, and therefore, all of them want back in. And this is what's happening. So a small pump can trigger so much more action and momentum, partly because of this reason that it's demand push, and the value of Bitcoin is determined by adoption and the network effect. So the more people uses it, the more restaurants, businesses transact in it, the more value it has. Remember, it's demand push. Demand push products means that it's heavily dependent on demand, and the price will then be heavily dependent on value and the demand. So only when it's demanded, only when it's required, only when it has a use case or adoption, then it has value, and therefore it has a high price. So think of it in that sense. So when a lot of people are calling it to $1,000, now think of it this way: $1,000 means a lot of people will be able to come in. And it means that the network or everyone will be able to hold, say, 1 Bitcoin, okay, instead of maybe 0.1. So think of it this sense: will Bitcoin drop to $1? It's hard. Why? Because the supply is fixed, and therefore is determined by demand. So there's a certain price that the whole world or the whole market will agree that, okay, this is what Bitcoin should be priced at, say $3,000. And therefore it cannot fall below that level because it's a psychological level. And therefore you see that it's sustained at that price, if you realize, because that's what the market generally agree that is the price of, or the value of Bitcoin per se. And we have maybe we can just kind of conclude that we have hit the floor as well. So therefore that mark, and therefore you see the huge recovery when we hit the all-time low. Did it go to 2008? Did it go to $2,500? Did we even go to $1,800 like a lot of people say? Not really, right? People still believe that it has value, and therefore demand was there, supply was fixed, demand pushed the price up. So that's what's happening right now. FOMOs are coming in, demand are pushing, and demand is pushing the price up in all exchanges. Okay. Now, Bitcoin jumps 11%, rebounding above 3,004 on the 1-year anniversary of its $19,000 record. So remember, this is from CNBC. See, mainstream medias are recovering Bitcoin's prices already. This was actually just on Monday. So it's a pretty old article because right now it's irrelevant. We're already at $3,700 level. But we can see that what's happening now is that we are trying to find a new resistance, a new support level, right? Where will Bitcoin go to? Where will it be priced at the end of this week. That's what I'm concerned about as well. All right, will we go through or take profit, and how will the markets in general affect Bitcoin's price? Now, we all know that in a few hours time, the Federal Reserve, which is the Feds, will also be releasing their interest rate decision for the US in a few hours time, right? So the FOMC has made a decision to release or increase or decrease the interest rate. Now, why is it that I'm mentioning about this, or why does it have so much of an impact? It's partly also because that this is the last quarter. It's also the last month that they can declare for 2018. Fed Chairman Powell will also be making a statement after that to talk about the plot chart or the dot chart for next year, the dot plot chart, which will also predict what will be the interest rate. How many times will there be an interest rate hike next year that is to use to curb inflation? And why am I talking about all this? Is because it has an impact on Dow Jones, it will have an impact on VIX, it will have an impact on commodities prices, because US dollars is indirectly linked to everything. So in that sense, if you realize what I'm talking about, is that if US dollars, whether or not this interest rate will affect US dollars, will have a slight impact on Dow Jones, it will have an impact on Nasdaq, it will have an impact on VIX, and it may have a small correlation towards BTC. So you realize that even on today per se, when everything else was kind of going up on the indices, you see that Dow Jones, Nasdaq are all going up slightly. Commodities are going up slightly as well, gold, oil, and we do see that crypto is also on a very bullish trend. So I'm not saying that there is a direct correlation, I'm saying there's a slight correlation, and I have realized during these bearish periods that we do see certain correlation, especially between tech stocks, okay, and the crypto market. You may deny it, it's fine, but I have seen a similar kind of correlation to that, right? So remember, there was a time when tech stocks kind of declined significantly, they plunged in a day. That actually impacted the crypto market as well, because in general, we are still associating crypto as a tech. All right, so that is still happening. So key question, we need to understand financial markets. You also need to understand whether there's a link between the financial markets and crypto. Why? Because what I ultimately want to find out is whether crypto can be a safe hedge against recession. And that's what I want to know. And that's the greatest test of time and test of the asset on its own. If it's a real digital asset and it has it's a store of value, it's a digital store of value, then it must have value during recession. If not, we are dead. Okay, because if it's a risk on asset, then everyone just dump Bitcoin for a safer asset like gold, for instance. But what exactly is the charm of Bitcoin? What exactly is the low of Bitcoin? No one knows, right? It's all the market sentiment that agrees that this is the bottom, and therefore we'll start moving from there. All right, so let's talk about charts quickly. What I've done is I've simplified the charts here for you guys, so it'll be easier to understand. For of course the full analysis will of course have already been shared to Legacy and Elite people members about 2 hours ago. So this is a more simplified version. But what's happening now is that we do see that the market has risen up quite a fair bit, right? So okay, let me just key this in. Okay, all right, so this is a 4 hours chart on Bitstamp, BTC versus US dollars, and we do see that this is the rally, in just the last few days. So we do see that was more like a falling wedge, all right, and therefore the pump went up. It was a continuation of trend due to the previous 2 candles being very strong. And right now what we're seeing is that a potential resistance was hit at $3,770 or so on Bitstamp at least, and we do see some declining action or some action downwards. Okay, so this is much like a completion of a price action movement. So the movement is said to be comprising of 9 candles, between 9 to about 13 candles. As of now, the 9 candles play out nicely on 4 hours. So we can see that from the start of the trend at number 1, which was here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 was a change in trend, right? Reversal. So the 9 candle will be the start of the trend as well, and we go up. So the next 2 candles will most likely be determinant. It will determine where BTC will retrace to. Okay, so the 8 and the 9 candle, which is in the next 8 hours or so, or the next 10 to 12 hours, will be crucial to know where BTC will stop at, because I personally feel that the 9th candle would be the reversal for upward trending again. Now, the question is, remember, the question for today's CG Market Watch is simple. Can we long yet, right? Can I long yet? So my idea here is this, and I think I can speak for Ryan as well safely, because he has been talking about it so much on the chat or in our group chat, is that he's been saying that because the market has been so pessimistic, that we forgot about the power of Bitcoin, right? We have underestimated the power of Bitcoin. We have underestimated the market. We have underestimated everyone. Everyone was just hedging out, and all of them are just starting to come in right now. So this bullish movement, although it's unexplainable, it's definitely not fundamental or institutional or even it's none of that, but it's maybe just more of sentiment push. And also because we've hit an all-time low, new all-year all-time low in that sense, and therefore we see a a pretty big rally in that sense. All right, so if you look at it in a daily format or in a daily candle, you will realize that actually we hit more like a evening star, and therefore there was a slight recovery in that sense. Okay, so this is what is happening. Now, if the chart was to continue to dip downside or downwards, okay, based on the Fibonacci, I would be looking at entry in terms of 3,640. I'll definitely be looking at entry that, in that sense, I've queued mostly around this level, because I personally feel that the longs will continue, the momentum will continue. It's slowing down. It's definitely slowing down. The upside of, okay, so let me show you on daily and you understand what I mean. Now, can't really zoom this very well. Okay, let me try and figure this out. Okay, so anyway, so let me just okay, so what you do see here, right, is that we do see 3 green soldiers here, okay, or we call it a 3 white soldier formation. So it's formed by a series of candles, 3 candles to be honest, to be frank. So we have 3 candles formation, with the first one being the biggest candle movement upside in a day, right? So followed by 2 other candles. Now you realize that the body of these candles are decreasing in size, right? So it kind of meant that the bullishness is decreasing slightly. The market is kind of wary of where it's heading towards, and we're still very far away from the daily cloud. Okay, that's for sure. We will at least have to go to 4,400 levels before we hit the cloud. But what you can see here is that the trend is slowing down. This particular line that you see here is from the Ichimoku cloud, which is called a Senko span. It's also hitting that and rejecting that, and it becomes a resistance for it, and therefore the price is kind of correcting slightly as well. So this is what's happening in the market. Daily trend, we are of course slowing down. It's a good thing, guys, so that most of us who are not in position yet can finally come in. Now the question is whether, and there's a lot of conspiracy going on, right, is that can we, or is the market has it truly recovered, or is it just that it's just going up as of now, and then it's gonna take a sharp turn and then it's just gonna crash, just crush all of us down. Now that unfortunately may also happen, right? So it's very hard to say as of now that this bullishness will carry on, okay, or that we are not careful, right? What if something happens again and then we're going down again? But let's just take a look from another point of view here, right? Now we do know that institutions are coming in January, right? Be it BUC, Nasdaq, futures, whatever, and we know that if blockchain developers are one of the in this year, at least for 2018, right, blockchain developers are one of the highest sought after career or job in the whole world, right? There's a 33x people or companies looking for blockchain developers. Think of that in that sense. And at the same time, the job market is seeking it. Different companies, big corporations are also looking into develop into the blockchain. We also have different companies looking into decentralization. So the blockchain space, or in terms of technology, is still developing very massively, right? Because the question then is whether or not cryptocurrency has a value on it, because it's built on a blockchain. But whether does it have a value, it's very different, because blockchain is referring to the tech, whereas cryptocurrency is referring to the currency that's underlying the tech. So what we are looking at right here is for the very fact that perhaps whatever that happened is to just reset the whole market, kills off all kinds of ICO that couldn't sustain, all kinds of scam, whatever not, and then restart the market once again, because we've hit an all-time low. Shorts are getting scared nowadays. Everyone is just removing their short position so that they can go long. And then the question is, what if there's another short? All right. So there's so many different kind of questions, so many different kind of conspiracy, so many different kinds of play that can happen. But in summary, what I do believe is that this could be just the start of this bullish momentum trend line run. Okay. And we do see that even though there's some weakness coming in from the daily, because of the 3 green soldiers, and the trends are slowly decreasing in terms of the bullishness. But with that being said, because of this particular pump, more FOMOs are going to start coming in. And this happened at almost the same time as similar to last year, because last year at this point in time, BTC was almost about 17,000 or 19,000 or so, remember that? And therefore, it's kind of just telling people, hey, don't underestimate BTC even during festive season like this. Look, guys, next week is Christmas, right? And we're just a few days away from the new year. So everyone is just thinking, hey, you know, it's festive season, BTC is not gonna pump, not gonna do anything. And it just gives us a tight slap on the face that, hey, BTC is still alive, we can still do this, right? And then the FOMO starts coming in, then the news starts reporting, and the same old thing starts happening, and you have all of this movement coming in, guys. So what we're looking at right here is really, personally for me, maybe even when you look at this on a daily, right, this is based on Tether, you can see that the trend is slowly dying, the body is getting smaller and smaller. But from what I see, it's just a minor retracement towards a greater upside movement. And where's my chart like that? Oh, so okay. So when you look at that in that sense, you realize that, hey, on 4 hours chart, right, we are still slightly retracing. This is more like a wedge that's forming, like I say again. And once the wedge is formed fully, we'll be able to see whether there's a potential breakout. And then we can question or not this is a bull flag, this is a falling wedge, this is a continuation of trend movement, or this could be a possible retracement. But when you look at all the different signs that are telling you, even OBV itself based on 4 hours, we are also on a higher trend now. So you can, let's just say, okay, let me just draw this line, you will be able to understand. So even if you draw it like that, you realize that the volume has been organic, it's been going up. And if you realize, right, the Tether's price now, okay, let's just look at these two exchanges. One is on Binance, one is on Bitstamp. So you realize that the prices here at the top, right, I hope you all can see, is that Binance now on BTC Tether is 3694, okay, based on the API of TradingView. It's 3694, whereas on US dollars, Bitstamp is 3705. So why is this so important, guys? It's because there are less people holding on to Tether. But there are more people coming in US dollars, and that's why the premium for BTC US dollar is higher as compared to the premium on BTC Tether. Think of it in that sense. So there are more organic volume coming in, more institutions, more traders buying it using US dollars in terms of fiat than as compared to using Tether. So that's why the premium on US dollar is higher, and therefore it's more expensive now to buy using fiat in that sense, right? Because BTC US dollars is now at 3705. Now maybe, you know, we can just compare with the other kind of exchange and to see where we stand. So for instance, let's just look at Coinbase. See, so Coinbase is 3706, whereas on Binance and Tether is 3696. Now I don't know whether you guys notice such stuff. I do. I'm just doing some analysis here, but you realize that even Tether's price has now dipped below US dollars price. It's kind of like the first time it's happening, in fact, just today alone. So it's kind of interesting to note that, hey, the premiums on US dollars now is getting more expensive. That means to say more people are coming in via the fiat way. Perfect sign, organic sign of movement, awesome. Okay, if they are coming in from stable coins, doesn't mean much. It just means that the funds are moving around the cryptocurrency market, that's it. But if funds are coming organically, that's a good sign for a potential bull run. That's just my take, guys. Okay, I love that point of view, and I love my own point of view sometimes, but I love this point of view that for the very fact is that more people are coming in organically using fiat. So take note of that, okay? Now, even talking about Ethereum, now Ethereum I haven't really been looking at Ethereum. To be honest, I'm holding like 0.1 Ethereum. Haven't really been a big fan of it as of late, because we have really been on a very, very, very long downtrend for Ethereum ever since the pump, right? So we have already went back almost to 15 September 2017's price. Okay, so but the current movement looks like it's gonna retrace slightly as well. It hits the Senko span on daily, so we might be just going down a little bit. This is more like a evening star, a morning star kind of signal telling you that there's a slight reversal that's gonna come in soon. But in general, if BTC movement supports it, Ethereum will still go up, right? Same goes for Ripple. Of course, Ripple, if you look at daily, you can see that it's kind of forming like a reversal candle. It's very apparent. So you can see that it's above Senko span. We have a reversal candle, and therefore we may be dipping slightly. You see that the body is kind of decreasing as well. So it's kind of just following BTC movement. Most of it is just following BTC movement. But when we talk about chances of recovery, to me, if you compare Ethereum, which is on the daily chart, and you talk about Ripple, Personally, for me, you can look at Ripple's chart. You realize that Ripple's movement in terms of candles, the price action, the size of the candle, it's all bigger and better in that sense as compared to Ethereum. So Ripple is the good way to go as compared to Ethereum, just for price action. Okay, not talking about the project wise. But so this is what's happening right now in the market. So this particular correction that we see here on the 4 hours, it's a crucial one, because from it, right, we'll be able to see. Okay, hold on. So from it, we'll be able to see. Oh no. Okay, gotta go back to my charts. Okay, so from here we can see that the reversal has to be formed up. The wedge has to be formed. The next few hours will be crucial to know where we'll be heading towards. If you break down the wedge or break out of the wedge, it will tell you where we'll be heading to. So the 7 and 8 and the 9 candle will be crucial to tell where the trend will be heading to. Alright, so pay attention to that if you want to know where it's heading towards. So the legacy and elite members, of course, we will be sharing it. I'll be sharing it in more details later on when the candles appear. So I'm gonna go on to the questions now. Okay, let me say. Yeah, hey guys, yeah, this is the rocket. Okay. There isn't anything that's constructive out of the live chat group, live chat box, right? So I'm not gonna be talking about that much. Yeah, so it's a question, right? So everyone's questioning. If you have some time, you look at Bitmex troll box. It's hilarious. So people are talking about shorting, people getting liquidated for shorts. So if I may, I can just share this with you, datamish.com, right? And it's fascinating to see how many people just get liquidated just on shorts. It's funny. Yeah, look at that. So the shorts are being liquidated upside down, at 8.946 million of shorts have been liquidated. Because the market has just been so bullish, all right? Of course, longs are also liquidated in a sense. This is just how the market works, right? We're going to get both sides in a way. This is just how the different exchanges work, okay? But in general, what I'm trying to say here is that the shorters are getting wary. They're gonna be careful. In fact, on the first day candle, when it happened on Monday, there were about 100 million orders or position that were being liquidated on Bitmex at least. As compared to today, it's only 8.946. One thing that I can really just share with you quickly, based on the analysis, is that the shorters are getting scared. Positions are getting lesser, and this is kind of like a good sign. So if you just align the 3 signs together, number one, you have US dollars price being kind of higher than Tether's price. You have liquidation, okay, in terms of Bitmex liquidation getting lesser and lesser. It just meant that the short positions are getting higher and higher. They are afraid to short too close to the price as of now. They're getting wary because they've been liquidated so much that they are scared of shorting again. And finally, price action supports the movement of the chart itself, or movement of BTC. And also because the media will be talking about it, and therefore there's going to be more price movement coming up. And that's what we personally are looking at and thinking about. All right. So this is it. All right. So I hope that you guys get a clearer understanding of what's happening in the market now. This is definitely not something that is fundamentally driven, or institutions say, hey, we're going to buy 100 or thousands of BTC. It's not. This is just a sentiment driven pump. It can sustain if organically more people are buying BTC using fiat. Fresh funds have to enter the market in order for this to be considered a bullish run. As of now, it's still Tether and stablecoin shifting out towards BTC or other cryptos, but it's still not counted until we see the signs where BTC just take up all the volume from the altcoins. Then we can kind of conclude that maybe the bulls are here. Maybe, all right? If not, we also have to go up above $4,200, $4,400 or $4,500 to kind of just conclude maybe the bull is really here. All right? Okay, Crypto Eric. Bro, you're on our elite group, right? So in any case, is it time to margin? There are different ways to margin, of course, right? So if you are not in CG Protege yet, all right, do join CG Protege, because we have already included a Huobi margin video inside where we will coach you on how to do margin trading on Huobi. Now, Huobi's margin trading is slightly different from how Bitmex does it. You need to have some tether in order for you to long on margin based on Huobi platform. So it's slightly different. All of this will be covered in more details in CG Protege. If you cannot find a link yet, it's below, or you can go to our Telegram group. Brian will post it on and off, our community manager, and you'll be able to find a link to sign up for CG Protege. So you can find more videos there on Huobi Margin. Now, if you talk about Bitmex wise, we won't be touching on it as much on our live video, because there's a certain risk to Bitmex, and it's hard to actually coach you just on Bitmex. There are so many different mechanisms there. But if you want to know more details about Bitmex, we'll be talking about it more on both CG, Legacy, and Elite. So just to have a quick update to you guys is that this coming Friday, Ryan and I will be talking about CG's direction for 2019. Okay, we'll be doing it live. We'll be doing it around the same time as today, around 3 to 4 p.m. in Singapore time. Sharp will be starting, and we'll be talking about a few things. Number one, we'll be talking about, I'm just going to share it with you right here today. We'll be talking about a few things, okay? 3 main things actually. Number one, we'll be talking about the financial markets, okay? What to do and what to prepare you for recession. Now, this particular segment here today, why are we doing this on a Friday, on a third week of every month, is that we are going to show you how we actually do our webinars. Now, for those who are in Legacy and Elite members, they already know how we do things, right? They have been watching our webinars weekly on every Monday. They know how we do things. So what we want to do is we want to gift it to all of you guys, right? We want to just show it to you how we do our weekly webinars in a monthly format. So we'll be covering in very broad sense, in very, very generic ways, how to prepare for the recession. Will 2019 be a good year for the financial years? We'll be covering that. That's one. Second thing, we'll be covering on cryptocurrencies. We'll be talking about what are some of the top few cryptocurrency. It'll be an interactive way that Ryan and I will be going into discussion. We'll be talking about what would be good to look at, which cryptocurrencies, and that will be doing it. We'll be doing it live as well. Thirdly, we'll be talking about CG's direction. We'll be showcasing what we have, some of the plans we have in 2019. Guys, it's going to be very, very exciting. We have certain partnerships that's up and going. We also have new partnerships that's coming in the first quarter of 2019. More news and updates will be given on this Friday. And also some of our products and services will be launched also on this Friday. We're still working on it very, very hard even during these seasons. So everyone's going holiday, but not. We're all here back in Singapore, grinding hard for you guys. All right. So 2019 will be a very, very bright year. Hopefully, we'll grow from glory to glory. And it's very, very exciting even for us. Okay, so we'll catch you all on Friday with Ryan and I live. We'll be talking about the markets. We'll talk about CG direction for 2019, and safe investing. Stay safe, and early Merry Christmas to you guys first. Okay, so see you on Friday.